What do you do to start your day? What is the first thing you do? Is it pick up your phone? Stop doing that. You need to take a moment every morning for yourself. And that does not include looking at your cell phone and looking at the news first thing in the morning or doom scrolling before you've even taken a breath. Aunt Jen, what do you do first thing in the morning?
Wow, that's a loaded question. But
It always is.
right? Um, okay. So I do not do I do not go to my phone. I do not doom scroll. I do not go on the news. And my daily routine is what I like to refer to it as, like a morning routine, a nighttime routine. Is there is levels to it, meaning there's some. I have a very extensive routine, which time allows, I can do the whole extensive routine. Time doesn't allow, I can do a smaller version. And I've also given myself permission to allow that version to shift and change, which
Mhm.
I think is extremely important. So,
Mhm.
the very first thing that I do when I get up is I actually go to the restroom so that I can go ahead and get that taken care of. Because generally, when we all wake up, we all have to go to the bathroom,
To the potty.
to the potty. And then I come back, and the first thing that I actually do is I greet myself. I say good morning to me. I give myself a great big hug. I do kisses. I ask myself different questions. I also state to myself, I have three things that I state to myself besides saying good morning. I say, I love you. I got you. I'm proud to be you. And then I go into my mindfulness meditation for duration of a time can be changing. And then I go into my gratitude. And then depending on what's happening, sometimes that's all I've got. That's like my shorter version, but that version of about 20 to 25 minutes is non-negotiable. So it's a consistent thing that I do on a regular. And I have to say that I've really noticed a difference. And I think that, some of it is, it hasn't always been that way. Like I didn't always greet myself. I didn't do that whole process. And then I kind of questioned myself, like, if I was waking up with someone else or something else was happening, what would I want? And so being able to provide that for myself, not needing someone outside of myself. And if we think about it, when we get up in the morning, if we are with people or we are going on, we're taking time to say good morning to people. Like, but what about saying good morning to yourself? Really? Like, who's the one that's greeting you? Someone else or you greeting you? So that's like the smaller little version of like what I do on a regular to start my day. What about you? Oh, you're me. I can't hear you.
I muted myself because I was typing in the chat. that's that's peaceful Nick. She's just first I want to say hello. Hello, Vivian. Hello, Christine, Queen Bean, Cupcake Bee. Love it. Hi, Shining Love Light Truth. Hello, Holly. And I
Hello, everyone.
say I want to say this. The world is upside down
Mm.
and there's enormous stress, politically, economically, uh, sociologically. There's stress everywhere we turn.
Mm.
And I want to say this is a very important subject that Aunt Jen picked for tonight, for today. Due to that fact, I think it goes perfectly. We need more healers. We need more calm. Now, we're not going to get 200,000 views on this video because we're not spreading negativity. Okay. I made a conscious decision at the end of last year to stop doing that as much as possible. I don't mind speaking on a subject, but I'm not going to belabor it and go into some negative spiral. Okay. So if you have a question about this or that, that's fine by me, but I'm not going to go into a whole tirade
Mm.
because it's not going to make a difference. Right. I'm screaming into the void. So what we need to do is start teaching people how to start or continue their healing journey for themselves. And that's why I'm a medium. My mediumship, my spiritual growth and my mediumship kind of run parallel to each other. And if you're any type of healer, you need both of those things. You can't be a medium and be unhealed. Like that doesn't go together.
Mm.
So what I do first thing in the morning before I even get up to go to the bathroom, I make this a point. Because usually I have gotten up an hour or two before. I'm of a certain age. So the first thing I do is I say at least 5 things I'm grateful for. I know I have said this 1,000 times on my live streams and in my videos. It changes the course of your day almost every single time you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no day is perfect. Not every day is going to be perfect. I say 5 things I'm grateful for every single morning. And I could literally go to 10 or 20 easily without even thinking. And then I set my intention for the day. What is my intention for the day going to look like? I'll start to say, okay, I have these 3 top priorities that I have to accomplish this morning before my mediumship readings start. Or I have these 3 things I have to start before I have to teach a class, right? So I've always got to set my intention to be mindful that I'm going to be gentle with myself if I don't accomplish everything that I have to accomplish by a certain time, right? There are things you absolutely have to do. You have to pay your mortgage. You have to do that. That's for sure. But do you have to do the dishes by noon? No. If I don't do the dishes, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. So I always have some type of intention. Be kind to your body today, because yesterday I was hard on my body, right? I did this kind of exercise. We were talking about that before we popped on here. I was straining in this way. So today I'm going to let my body rest a little more. And then I meditate. And it might be just 3 deep breaths, or it might be 30 seconds or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So every morning is different, but I always start with gratitude, intentions, and meditation. Doesn't have to be 20 minutes or 2 hours, but I do at least 3 deep breaths to center myself and start my day. And we've got some comments. Shining Light Truth said, I sit with self. I tell myself I love myself and I can't read the rest of that. But that's wonderful that you tell yourself you love yourself. Mabel, welcome in. We have some new faces today. I'm so excited. Hello, Mabel. Welcome, welcome. Christine said, first I stretch and remind myself not to be negative. Excellent. Viv said, you won't get those 250K views yet. It will happen at the right time. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Amanda's here. Miss Mandy. Hi, sweetheart. She said, happy to be here hanging out with my favorite aunties, and we're happy our favorite niece is here.
Yeah, we love
the other ones because we know they're not watching.
We love you too. If you are watching,
I'm being a little bit of a bee.
I know you are good.
My nieces understand my attitude. Hi, Kristen. How are you, sweetheart? Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Hi, Gina. Vivian said, I roll around, grab my stuffed animal, her little Stitch, and thank my spirit team for being here for me.
There you go.
I love it. I bought myself a present today. It's a friend to the crow Vivian sent me. You ready?
Yeah. Love it.
Now, my new cardinal. Now, everybody knows cardinals are beautiful signs from spirit. And there's a big story about this bird, but I need a name for my cardinal. So please put some, oh, thank you, Kristen. I treasure your friendship. I need name suggestions for my new friend.
Okay.
I have I've got 2 rhinoceroses.
Is he a boy or a girl? Do you know?
Red cardinals are all males. The gray ones are the females.
Mm-hmm.
He's a boy. So
we need the boy's name.
Yeah. So I need a boy's name. All right. So anybody ideas, put them in the chat. Jen, what do you do I know you have a whole meditation practice in the morning. Can you talk to us about that and why? Why? First of all, start with the why.
Well, I mean, to me, it's what saves me. Like it has been probably the one thing that's, I know for a fact from my own personal proof, that has shifted my life over the past how many decades. And so it just is one of those things where I have created it to be kind of a non-negotiable for the most part, which honestly is an important piece for me. Sometimes I have a little harder time with accountability, even with myself. I like to flow with the energy. And so having that to anchor myself is extremely important. I mean, there's the why. And, it really does change. I mean, I am definitely more of a silent based meditation, meaning I'm not listening to guided meditations. There's amazing guided meditations out there. However, what I have learned for me with listening to those and then also just sitting with my own thoughts, my thoughts need a space to be able to be heard, felt, and seen by me. And so it's like giving it permission. I think a lot of times, there's many different forms and ways of meditation, and the end result is what happens no matter what you do, really. So I like the end result, but I think a lot of people think that the concept is to sit and just be able to empty your mind. And that is something. However, we have so many thoughts that repeat themselves throughout the day before. And so if you just actually give them a space to come out and be on repetitive, it's actually your body's way of releasing stress, the thoughts while you're sitting there. So I noticed that by being able to do that versus a guided meditation where someone's guiding me and telling me different words and things, that those words don't repeat as often through the day at all, or they're just so much easier to turn off. And so that's why the reason that I do that kind of a practice. And I honestly slip into meditation throughout different times. I do the evening time is also a really great time. So kind of the anchors of the day, right? I do a different version of it, but that's kind of what I will do, is making sure that I'm checking in with myself. It's a form of loving myself and checking in with myself and giving myself full on permission. And instead of telling the thoughts to go away, I'm like, come on. And then once I notice that I'm no longer paying attention to the inhale and the exhale of my breath, if that's what I'm doing, then I come back. And if not, then I go off on a little rampage about the laundry or about whatever it is, but I'm giving it a space. So it's been I've proved it to myself that it changes who I am. It changes just the total being of myself. So that's why I do that particular practice. And then the body, there's so many different components to the morning routine per se. Yet sometimes we just have to kind of slim it down a little bit just to give people permission to even just say good morning to yourself. When was the last time you said good morning to you? Gave yourself a hug, kissed yourself on your arm, said, I love you. I'm proud to be you. I got you, right? Just try and see what happens. I've been trying it and saying it for quite a while now, every morning in the year. And it's amazing the connection within my inner self of hearing that versus all the negativity that may have been on repeat on the regular. I personally think that this tape recording that's going is way more effective and towards the energy that I'm looking for. Just like even listening to uplifting music. There's certain songs I like to, there's some great songs out there. Different. It's really just looking at it for you. What are you intaking? What are you taking in through your senses first thing in the morning? And that even includes I'm up for not even 5 seconds and I drink my coffee. Okay, well, there's something there too. But it's on you of what that looks like. What are you intaking with all of your senses when you're first waking up to support yourself through whatever it is that you need to do.
Right. There's some comments I want to get to, and I want to talk about water in the morning as well. First, the comments. Mandy said, I just found a cardinal painting I did in my closet. That is such a funny coincidence. Mandy is an amazing artist. Mandy, did you watch that movie? Let me know if you watched the movie we're talking about. The first name that came to me, Mabel says, is Carlton. So I'm making a list. I have Carlton, and Mandy said Casanova. So any other cardinal names, I'll write them down. any ideas, because I like to have names for my little creatures on my desk here.
Well, the first name I heard was Thunder.
Thunder. Oh, I love that.
And then I was like, oh, and she does like thunder. She
Oh,
loves.
do I ever? I love
Okay.
thunder.
Maybe that.
Water is really important. Now, I know Jen and I have had many discussions about drinking coffee and why we should or shouldn't do it. We go back and forth. I never drank coffee until I was 30 years old, when I lived in Tahoe with my husband and our boys when they were babies. And we had a coffee shop there. And I never ever drank coffee ever before that. And my husband was a master coffee roaster. He actually went to coffee roasting school, which is a very random thing to meet somebody who's been certified to roast coffee.
Right.
But he roasted the beans and made me a fresh cup of coffee from the fresh beans. And that was the first cup of coffee I had. And I have had coffee every day since. But I make sure to I drink this cup of water, a whole bunch of it before, like almost this entire thing before I have my coffee. You have to be hydrated.
And you also have to find out what works for you. So, like generally speaking, the first thing that I put into my mouth in the morning is my coconut oil. I like to oil pull. And so that needs to be done before you put anything else in. And I've gone through phases of coffee and not. I've gone back and forth. I tend to fall off when I go traveling, but I've been consistent for a while of no more personally coffee, caffeine in general, because I've noticed as I'm trying to work with my nervous system, it doesn't really help me, Aunt Jen. It doesn't work for me. So other people, I have no opinions about it, because that's on you, like what you do for you. But I've just noticed that for me, I'm easily excitable. I definitely have energy on my own. And so when I ended up not drinking, I noticed how much more actually calmer I was. Like it kind of made, and so for me, I enjoy that kind of being a little calm, because I can kind of run and buzz all on my own without. But I do love, I like if I was going to go to Europe, like it's all off. Like they've got really
all bets are off.
Yeah, all bets are off. And if I had a coffee roaster in my mind, things are different, right? But it's like, but that habitual part of it about being the first thing in the morning and just be like, that habitual piece, I, have removed that for myself personally, because it doesn't work for me. So I find other things that kind of work for me, but it's not to say a lot of people, it works for you. Great.
Right.
But finding, just adding other things into your life too. That just my last thing I would say about coffee is, my opinion, if someone out there is like, oh my gosh, I really do want to quit coffee, what do I do? You want to bring in before you take out. It makes it easier. So what you could do is you can bring in other substances that you need to drink before you have the coffee. And it makes it like, when I first initially did it, I did my celery juice thing. So I'd have my celery juice, and then it'd be so long between. And then by the time it was time to have coffee, I was like, well, forget it now. Like it just made it like, and instead of saying you can't have it, it's like, you're just bringing new stuff in, and it helps to help relieve and bring stuff out.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, it's called it's like crowding. So you're bringing in, and it works for, you have to find what works for you, but trying to tell me to do something, even me telling me, it doesn't work. So this works better for me. Be like, okay, you can have it, but you have to do A, B, C, and D first. And then by the time I get there, it's like, forget it. You've oil pulled, I have my water, I have my, I've got my celery juice, like forget it now. I don't want it's lost its luster for me. Right. So it just did it on its own.
Yeah. You have a very naturally energetic personality. I have a very low energy body. My Hashimoto's disease makes me plus my endometriosis. I have so many hormone dysregulations in my body that I am a zombie for a minimum of 2 hours when I wake up. Minimum. That's why you never see me do a mediumship reading in the morning. They're never open on my calendar, because I would never be able to do it. I answer emails and stuff like that I can do, but to interact with another person, 2 hours minimum before I am a kind person. And the coffee is the only way I can even be coherent. And so And it gives me so much pleasure.
Mhm.
Every night at bedtime, I can't wait to get up and have my coffee in the morning.
There's a lot of people. See, I wasn't like that. That wasn't I wasn't having that kind of a thing per se. And so I understand that though. And again, I think the other thing too is like, there's so much out there of like what's going on. And it really starts with ourselves. And like, there's just so much wrong and right that we keep attaching on to the
Right.
different things with ourselves. And it's just really like, is it really serving you? To be like, oh, you're doing this wrong and this is right and this is wrong. It's like, no, whatever's right for you in the moment. And then
Right. The negative mindset, the negative self-talk. And I think we've talked about
we
that.
have, and I want to do a whole thing about self-talk because really like it's such a process to get to the other side. I think people think that you're just supposed to will yourself to talk differently. It's like, good luck. Like, that's not how these things to love. I say this regularly because I really believe it. Like, when you sit there and ask yourself how next time if you're on a self-love journey of any kind and you find yourself saying, oh my God, this is taking so long, you're being negative about it in any which way. Do you really want to miss out on any part of a love story with someone else? No. So why do you want to miss out on any part of a love story with yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Right.
You deserve that. And so that might be just the piece of being like, oh my gosh, this is taking so long. Yeah, well, where you got to go? Deeper to yourself? Like, well, you're getting there. So there's not this, you feel it within yourself. And so it's just about slowly putting in new things, right? You want to change your thought process. We'll start to maybe listen to some positive music, right? Start to look at what you're taking in with your senses and then just start to, overboard yourself with some other things to see if that can help to shift for you.
Exactly. Vivian said, I need to ask my cardinal. He'll tell me his name. So I'll try that as well. A girl who loves penguins said, hello. Hi. I'm glad you're here. Gina said, no caffeine. Maybe sometimes she drinks herbal tea. Irene said, some coffee shops in Europe automatically bring a glass of water with your espresso. So that's good. Carol said, hi, ladies. First thing I do every morning is make my coffee. Carol, we're one mind.
It's a ritual. It's a beautiful process to
yeah. Then she says she puts on soft meditation music and get ready for work.
There you go.
Beautiful. I want to say that you mentioned something about learning to love yourself in a certain way. Right? We need to learn to love ourselves and do these rituals or these kind things for ourselves, like buying my new little friend who I love so much. Now, this obviously is not an expensive trinket, right? Like I'm not a person that's ever going to go spend $100 on something like this, right? That's just not me. But this little bird is going to bring me so much joy. And it was like $10 on Amazon, but it's going to bring me so much joy. That's a form of self-love. And we were not taught to love ourselves.
No.
Especially young girls.
No.
We were never, our society in the United States, if you're listening from somewhere else, we were conditioned, Gen X and above, which is what we are. We're in our mid-50s. We were conditioned to serve others, serve a man, be pretty, be skinny, be subservient, shut your effing mouth, don't talk back, do as I say, not as I do. Children should be seen and not heard. You should be different. You shouldn't be loud. You shouldn't have opinions. You shouldn't be a smart aleck. You shouldn't do anything that feels good to you, but you should serve everyone else and forget about any of your needs. And that is why there's a revolution, especially in Gen X ladies and above, right? Because we all were conditioned to serve others and forget about any of our feelings. And we're like, no, we are learning to love ourselves. And if our partners, whether they're male or female or whatever gender they are living as, they need to either come with us or get left behind.
Mm.
And that does not mean disrespect your partner. That does not mean be mean to your partner. All that means is decide what your boundaries are and communicate them clearly and respectfully and lovingly. Doesn't mean cuss them out and say, mofo, why didn't you do the dishes, you stupid SOB, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what it means. It means these are my needs.
Mm.
Can we work on this together? Not be mean and disrespectful, right? Because the partners of Gen X and above were taught incorrect things as well. So they're not, without dysfunction because they were also taught awful things and not how to live right.
Totally. And we all can make a choice.
Yeah,
right?
a couple comments and then you can talk about the choice.
Good.
Surf Mom said, nope. Yeah, exactly. Christine Queen Bean said, Mr. Fred. I'm assuming that's for the Cardinal. Girl who loves penguins. My penguin trinkets bring me so much love. Yeah, I saw those when we were talking on Zoom. I have them in my office at home and at work and even in my car. Michelle said, amen, Nick. Exactly. Surf Mom said, I was born in 85 and have never bowed to authority. I speak my mind and tell my husband how we can be one. Yes, and we should be partners, not one subservient to the other, for sure. Lori said, hi, first thing I do is make my coffee and feed the cat. Woohoo, coffee. I want to go have coffee, but it's 8:30 here. Irene said, if you're assertive, you're called aggressive. And then a man or trans like the disrespectful fighter who called Michelle Obama a man, shame on him. That put me into a spiral on Monday. That put me into a spiral. Just the fact that people that are so unkind and ignorant have a platform in any way. Put me into a spiral. It's not okay. It's horrible. And I'm getting a hot flash thinking about it. Okay. Aunt Jen probably didn't see that because she doesn't go on social media as much.
No, I missed it, but
yeah. Good thing you missed it because
yeah, I think that yeah, that's another. It's all good.
So you were talking about comforting
choices.
Oh, sorry.
We have a choice, right? We can choose, to want to do better for ourselves, and then we can choose if we don't have somebody, what we're looking for, and what that looks like. Like, I want somebody who knows how to greet themselves in the morning, not necessarily greet me. I'm greeting me first. Like, it's not about trying to replace. I'm not doing that to replace someone else. Like, that's not going to change no matter what takes place. It's not like a filler. Let me just do that till someone else comes along. Like, that's not what this is about. At least for me, that's not what it's about. It's really about being in a place of wholeness and completeness, of love within me, of where I'm at, who I am, how I show up, what I do, what I'm asking of other people. Am I doing it myself?
Right.
That's a very big one. It's like, if you're thinking about whether you're asking of somebody else, like, are you willing to do that for yourself? And if the answer is no, like, then you're leaning on someone else to be able to fulfill that for you. Like, that's not, I remember in a relationship I had one time that they were not really, they didn't really get me flowers. It just wasn't their thing. Like, they'd get plants. And so I sent flowers to myself when I had accomplished something that I was so proud of myself, and wrote this beautiful note. And when they came, they were like, who sent you flowers? And I was like, me. And they were like, what? Like, told. And I was like, yeah. And it was because I was going to take care of it myself. If you're not going to do that for me, you know what? That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. And I'm going to do that for myself. And then looking at it further, it's like, the reasoning maybe somebody doesn't do something is because of them, but it's like, you don't always do that about yourself. That's what's being in a relationship. You actually do something for someone else because they like it. They like to get flat, So it's like, you're learning those things. And so it's like, I fill my own needs. How can I fill my own cup? How can I greet myself? How can I give myself kisses? How can I have conversations with myself, ask questions, right? Setting the tone of like what it kind of looks like to have that other person be able to what the world puts out there. That's when you don't make it in the world if you don't have somebody. Like, and it's like, I don't really know if that's true. I don't know if I believe that. I think that you don't really make it in the world unless you have yourself.
Right. Put that on a shirt. Put that on a shirt.
We can make some money with the stuff I'd put on shirts. I'm serious. Like, but
gotta go back and watch all the videos. And
but that's just, it really is. Like, you really get somewhere when you really know you. And then you will also, I know for a fact, like when you're at that level of energy, that's who you attract. You attract someone else who's also at that standard within themselves. And then it's more of a dance instead of looking at, someone fulfilling us and doing that. And that's from programming. I mean, we all fell into it. I definitely have. This person's going to do that for me. And they're like, no, I'm not. And it's like, oh, well, that's not going to work. This is not how I thought this was going to be. Right? And you're like, oh. So then you go back to the drawing board and you find out what things are important to you. And to me, like, in being in a relationship with anybody, like, it's about the things people do for somebody because they love you and you don't have to ask.
Yes. Because when you ask, it makes you feel like
this is like, it really takes away from somebody. Like, asking is definitely like, you have to have communication to ask for things. And that's an important thing too, as well. But I mean, if you're with somebody, like, they should know a little, like, that it's kind of a part of the love language of different things that are going on. But, thinking about the subject we're talking about. Like, exactly. I would look for somebody who has a beautiful morning routine that can teach me something about their routine, that they have something established, not somebody necessarily who is like, oh my gosh, I thought about that. It's like, that's great. You should try that.
Like, oh my God. So many different directions.
But you have to already possess that, like, so that you can actually want that and bring that into your life. So if you want to bring that kind of energy from somebody else, are you providing that space for yourself? Mm-hmm. Are you starting your morning that way? Are you ending your day that way? Or is it all just going to happen when someone else comes along?
Exactly. And so I'm going to get to some comments and then we'll continue the conversation. Surf Mom said 100%. I was beyond out of my comfort thoughts. I think it was about the Michelle Obama subject. Irene said, sorry, Nick. Yeah, that sent me into a rage, an absolute rage. I just want all of the mania to end. It's not okay. Carol Baker said, I am not a morning person. I have to be at work at 5 or 6. Oh, that sounds awful. I wake up 30 minutes before I leave. I get dressed and grab everything and out the door. When I was teaching in the classroom full time, I would set everything out and everything up at night and do the least amount I had to in the morning because I can't think straight in the morning. So I get it. And Carol also said, you're right. I was born in 67 and that's exactly how it's been. Yeah, I was born in 70. So exactly. Surf Mom said, but what if you can never find yourself? So we have to address that. And then Christine Queen Bean Cupcake said, Aunt Jen, what's your website so I can see your services? I'm loving your vibes. Okay, so
first question for what you want me to do the first question and then that second question?
Well, there's a couple more.
Okay, sorry.
Mabel said, I've been feeling so much sadness lately, and you ladies have lifted my spirits. Thank you. And that makes all of this worth it, because that's why we're here, because there's so much sadness and so much anger and so much pain. Surf Mom said bottled up emotions. Vivian said to Christine, both Nick and Aunt Jen are great mentors. Thank you so much, Vivian.
You're an amazing mentee.
You're an amazing mentee.
Mm-hmm.
And Christine,
it makes all the difference. It's not just anybody that shows up. Like, she does the work. Like, so it just makes a very big difference.
Yeah.
Go on.
Christine said, yes, Vivian, Peaceful Nick. I have been following for over a year and have her books too. Oh, thank you. Speaking of books, I have books. They're linked everywhere. My link tree's in the show notes with all the stuff. Okay, so first
question was, what if you can't?
What if you can never find yourself from
so I would take out the word never.
Okay.
And I would say, what if I can't find myself? And I would say that you found the version of yourself right now. That's where you start.
Mm.
You start with the version of yourself right now. And, and you kind of keep on working towards what that is. I mean, I remember a client I worked with, and one of the things was to try and befriend her little 8-year-old version. And she's like, I can't even find her. And I was like, okay, that's okay. We're going to keep on working until you do find her, right? Until you can hear her. And it's like, because there's lots of trauma and different things compounded. And so you just keep showing up for yourself in using tools and using ways to help find yourself and discover who you are. And then you take about 5 steps forward, and then you take like 20 back. And then you're like, wait, what? And it's like, that's at least my journey. Like, other people have their own kind of journey. So that's what I would say is if you are dedicated to this with yourself, you will find yourself. But you have found a version of who you are right now. And I encourage you to love that version so that you can be able to progress. Hopefully that helps. And then the second one is, I don't have a website. I know we're working on things. Aunt Jen is, work in progress. I've always done everything through word of mouth. So if you are interested, the best thing to do is email me at auntjen1972@gmail.com. And then I always can set up a Zoom call with you so we can meet and I can talk about services. I can email you different things, but I don't really have anything as of right this minute. I am in progress, but generally speaking, I do one-on-one coaching. I am thinking probably after the summer's over, I do like a group. So like-minded people coming together over one subject, and then we can meet that way. And then I was just telling Peaceful Nick that I was going to do in August, I was going to do 2 free, whatever you would call them.
Galleries.
Where you can show up. And the first one is going to be talking about meditation. And the other one will be about kind of just starting your self-love journey. Just like little tiny intros, but they'll be free. You can come and join. And then you can always go from there and we can work one-on-one. We can work in different things. There's also YouTube. I think I put a lot of videos up there that are really great. And so those things are all available for you for free. But thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it. And I really am just here. My goal and my mission in life is first and foremost to continue my healing journey myself. Like, I am dedicated to my own journey and I still have a ways to go. And then anyone else that I can help as they're traveling and navigating together to give them a space to be heard, felt, and seen, and provide different tools that I use and tools that I know that are out there to see if they help. That's what I'd like to do in this world. So if that does vibe, like, I'm here and I'm available.
I love it. And you have a link tree that's also, it's available, but it's in progress still.
Yeah, it just has the links. It just has the links to like email, Facebook, Instagram. Like, I haven't really done all that.
Is it linked in your bios somewhere?
I think it is, or it was on the show notes. You used to have it on there.
Okay. I'll have to double check if it's on there still. It's probably on your show notes too. Anyway, I put your email in the chat.
I don't do that.
Mangold's not here tonight, so I put your email in the chat. And then Surf Mom said, how can I speak one-on-one with Peaceful Nick? You can either go to my website and look at my services, which I put in the chat, peacefulnickthemedium.com, or you can email me if you have questions about certain services. I always answer my emails. I will be traveling all day tomorrow, but I will answer my emails intermittently. And then AuntJen1972@gmail for Aunt Jen. So yeah. Let's see. Vivian said, I believe all of us can find ourselves, but we need to reevaluate all the concepts and all the can't society, friends, and families have taught us.
Yep. That's it right there. You're getting rid of the noise.
We've been programmed.
Yes.
Women, especially, and I can only speak for women because we're both women, right? It's nothing against men or anything. It's just our life experience as female people. We have been taught certain things.
We've been programmed.
And the deprogramming, is that what you call it?
Then I move on to deprogramming. figure out how to get a reprogram. So it's a whole process.
Yeah. And it takes your whole life, and you
It
have to
does.
just be patient. It's like I heard someone say the other day, I think it was Steven Spielberg, I was watching an interview about Disclosure Day, and he was saying, you don't get excited and always remember the last scene of a movie, but you'll remember the journey, or a book, movie or a book. You'll remember the journey the characters went on. And it's not about your last gasp of air before you pass away and go over to spirit. It's about the journey you took and how you navigated and managed that, and all of the different parts of that.
And how it is a whole process, and how there's think about a great example of that I know, where it's like I could say something, but then having a witness makes it even more. So I met Nicole when I was 13 years old, and one of our trauma bonds was over our fathers. And so I have been dedicated to doing father work all of these decades. And Nicole knows exactly where I am with my father right now, which neither one of us would either believe it, know it, but it's been me of doing all of my work going along all of these decades. And if we look back on it, would there have been a piece that should have happened faster, or no, right? Or any of it, and so it's like, and I even look at it, I don't sit there and say, I do not, part of my story, I don't tell stories anymore, but I don't have part of my story and then it took me 40 years. I'm like, no, it took 4 years. And that was something that wasn't maybe I was dedicated like a marathon runner. Some people are, there's dedication to certain things. And I looked at myself, it's like, I've been dedicated to my own self-healing through things that may have happened to me through other directions as a marathon runner. I've ran a lot of marathons I've done, and it's a whole process, and it's a whole learning about myself, staying on my side of the street, cleaning up there's a whole bunch to it. Mm-hmm. My point of this is that I wouldn't change the 40 years that it took, because each piece and each part of that path was beautiful for me.
Yes.
Part of my story that I would never want to deny. And even the times that if you're like, oh my God, this is just so hard and heavy. I know. Don't even try to I know how hard and how dark and how just how taking you down and feeling I get it. And we immerse. It does end up changing. It does end up moving little inch by inch. And so by having some kind of a morning routine to start our day and end our day can be one of the first things. So what I'd also say to kind of bring it back to, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, who said, what if I never find myself? I would put it out there and say, can you start by greeting yourself in the morning? Can you start by saying good morning? And if you can't face yourself in a mirror, then just face yourself. I have stuff written on my mirror, so I face myself all different directions. But just starting that, even if you don't believe it, just try. Just be willing to look at things a little differently for yourself, and just be I love you exactly as you are right this minute, whatever your name is, right? Or whatever that looks like that may feel, maybe starting there, because it's a process. It's a marathon, a long marathon.
And I want to say, and the person who asked is Surf Mom.
Surf Mom.
And I want to say this, and some people think I'm crazy when I say this, and it's not because I'm crazy. It's, I might be a little crazy, but who isn't?
What are we talking about here?
I have done a lot of inner work and a lot of reflecting in my life. And I realized over the years, some things sooner than others, because it's a journey, that of all of the trauma I endured, and trust me, I had some, but there are people I know who've had worse trauma, and I had some pretty awful stuff, but I wouldn't be on the journey I'm on now without those painful experiences. And as sick as it may sound, I'm grateful for those experiences, because I've learned compassion and empathy and resilience and strength. And that, as you know, Aunt Jen was talking about, you have to depend and love yourself first, because ultimately you're the only one
Yeah.
that's going to do it. Like, I love my husband. We've been together, married 30 years together, like 32. And if something happened and he was no longer in my life for some reason, I would survive and
Mm.
I would be fine. And my sons are grown and they're married and they have their own families now. And it's like, yeah, I could go visit, but I would have to be okay on my own. And I know I could do it. I would be sad, probably, of course, if something happened to my husband or we weren't together anymore or he passed away or something. But I know I could survive it
Mm.
because of the resilience I built up and the strength. And so having gratitude for the journey you're on and for the things that have happened that were not happy things, that were
Mm.
traumatic or abusive or neglectful things that happened,
Mm.
being grateful for that experience shifts your feelings about it.
Mm. Yeah.
Because when as Eckhart Tolle, who I love, I've said it a million times, as he has said, don't identify with your pain
Mm.
or anything else. If you're a baseball player, a teacher, a mom, a scientist, an astronaut, an engineer, a life coach, whatever, a dinosaur, whatever you are, don't be identified with that thing,
Mm.
because you're not that thing. I
Yeah.
am not my pain. You are not your pain. You are not the horrible things that happen to you. You are not the things people have told you that you are. You only know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, it's okay to figure it out. And you're not going to do it overnight.
No.
It takes time. It takes reflection. It takes telling people who are telling you stuff that's awful, shut the F up and get the F out of my face and stop telling me the lies you believe about me that aren't
Mm.
true. That's my favorite thing to tell people. Stop telling me the lies you believe about me.
Mm.
Everybody write that down. Stop telling me the lies you believe about me. You can believe them, but I don't. Write it down. Write it. Stop telling me the lies you believe about me. Mic drop.
She's a
And
teacher. I was just gonna say,
that is the teacher in me. I have to repeat it over and over.
here goes Teacher Nick, and we love it. I would say that like everything you said echoes, and I mean, confirming what you're saying. And I think that getting to the place of gratitude can take someone a little longer. So when you're not in that place, you could be like, "Listen, lady, what are you talking about?" So yes, sometimes just changing something. Even like there's been a lot of things that I've had to tell myself that I didn't even believe, but I just would tell them. And so like one of them is like, this didn't happen to me, it happened for me.
Yeah. Yes.
Even changing one little word, like, being able to flip the perspective, but also looking at it like I don't bypass anything. Like I will have the thing that happened to me and then I move it into for me. So like I don't skip the two, but let's go into the four. Like that's where I feel more empowered and where I can actually do something. But I'm not going to dismiss the two, because then that usually is undigested stuff that's not processed. And I like to process all my stuff so that I can move on. So that I can, and then it's like, I remember people saying that, are you ready to move on yet? And I remember having one of my therapists tell me that, don't let anyone ever tell you. And I remember I've dug my heels on that. And I definitely have had people tell me that. And I would say to this day, I am so grateful that I never listened to anybody, because I have enough proof to know like, oh yeah, I was done with that now. Oh no, I wasn't. And then I was. And then like, so it's like, that's a big one like that. And so, what do I do to protect myself? Right. So that I don't have to hear that. Well, maybe I'm not just hanging out with you, because that one is just like, aren't you done with that yet? I guess I'm still working it out. Like, so it's like you make them uncomfortable with their own stuff. And so that might not be your crowd, but if there's something that's in there, I think that there's a difference though, between always just blaming that is where we get hooked up. And so there is a piece where there's a responsibility and the blame that's why I like to provide the space where someone can be heard, felt, and seen and be able to just put your stuff out there. I definitely have heard, felt, and seen Nicole for many decades now. And I think that makes a difference when you're not trying to change it and you're not trying to fix it. And then after they've said it enough, then you're kind of like, okay, and where are we going to move with this? Where can we? But if you don't ever have anybody even provide that space, they're always interjecting something, then you've never actually been validated within yourself. And so sometimes we're needing that from somebody else because it's a journey. And so that's why you find like-minded people. They're like, oh, I got my story and this is my, okay. And right. And so that's just part of the process. If that's what you choose to do, maybe people choose, some people choose to spend all their time because they want to be an astronaut. So they're spending all their energy studying and like, I'm not, mine is healing. That is my thing. Like just personal development, healing, growing, shifting, changing. What kind of change can I be for the world? How can I put myself out there like in a positive way and be authentic?
Yeah, I wanted to be an astronaut until I realized I hated flying. So, but yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying, one of those real smart education things that you need to go to school forever. That's me. I'm just doing it in a very different way, but the world doesn't look at it like that.
Right. So no, they don't.
I don't need anyone to validate me on that. I'm validating me on that. And I'm finding a way to live my life so that I can do this. And to other people, they might be like, what are you doing? Or where? Well, it's not your life. Like,
and then they come to you later and ask for help, which is my favorite thing. Because they're like, oh, she had it right all along.
How'd you get there? Well,
Let me tell you. Vivian said, sit by yourself with yourself and your own soul will know yourself. Yes. My soul has always been louder than the outside world. Yes, yes, yes. And she said, everything happens for a reason. Look at our struggles from a different angle and turn them into our lessons. Yes, shift the perspective. Wisdom comes from growing our souls, not from growing old. Yes. Very nice. Very nice. Love Base Wicca. Hello, Lady Shadow says hello. Everybody follow at Love Base Wicca. Subscribe on YouTube if you shall. That's Lady Shadow's page, and her husband Cosmic Chris makes wonderful videos over there. Very wonderful videos that are great for other men, especially because men don't want to listen to women usually in general. They'd rather hear it from a man, and Cosmic Chris makes amazing videos that are great for men on that page. Carrie said, hello, Carrie. Good evening. I'll be 55 on Sunday and still here after all the loss, bad luck, and not in jail or a straitjacket. Same. And because of my experiences, I get up every day, work hard, and I know I'm the only one who can get me through having nothing in people's judgment. I'm setting boundaries. Very good. And people don't like it. Oh, well, keep it moving. Oh, that's the worst.
Never like
that's when you start losing people left and right.
You're doing it right.
When you're doing right, exactly. If you're setting boundaries and people are falling away, you're doing it right. Because if they truly loved and respected you, they would love and respect your boundaries.
Because what's happening is you're not giving them access to you in the same way, and it's not working for them, and they don't like that. So, and they'll project a lot too. And then it gets very complicated because then it becomes family and things. And it's like, what do you do? And like, I mean, so that, each individual basis is a very different situation. It's all situational of what you need to do. But in the end, it's creating, again, what you're with you and you, like, that's who you have. You're encapsulated in this. Like, you have to listen to your own thoughts all the time. You have to be with yourself all the time. Like, wouldn't you want to enjoy it? I mean, that's how I went, because I did not enjoy who I was, period. Like, no, I did. And then the world took over at probably a very young age and told me differently, right? But remembering being really young, like, no, I was this, no. And so then everyone comes along and they program you of who you're supposed to be. And you got to fight for your right, right? Yeah. Isn't that Beastie Boys, but not to party. I mean, you can. You got to fight for your right to be you. That's how I look at it. Like,
I love it. Flashback. I love that.
because that was in high school, right? That came out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We 80s high school girls. Okay.
Right, exactly. Carrie said, "I appreciate you, Nick, for getting me motivated. Thank you." Now I'm always going to tell somebody
She
how.
will.
Look,
She will.
look,
She will tell you.
Nick. If you knew Nick in real life, she doesn't hold back, and she makes a lot of enemies because people don't want to hear the truth. And I don't care because I pay my own mortgage. And if somebody's going to ask me my opinion, I'm going to tell them. Now, if it's a client, of course, I will tell them gently. Like the man who asked me if it was okay to have an affair on his disabled wife who had a stroke during a reading. And I'm like, I had some opinions for this man.
Yeah, I know, but there's also another part. I mean, you don't know the whole story. I mean, there's a lot.
I do know the whole story because I knew his wife as well.
Oh.
And so she was a successful person. I won't say what her job was. She was very successful, and she got sick. And he didn't believe in sickness and in health. But anyway, so I gave him my wisdom. So wisdom seeker, look, I'm wearing the necklace you gave me. Dun dun dun. Thank you, thank you.
We have a few more minutes, and we decided to, for the summer, we're going to keep this at 5:00.
Yes, we're going to keep this at 5 instead of in the morning for the summer.
Yes.
And then it may change in the fall because of my
we just go with it.
Process.
So it's going to be 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and that might be whether it's a bunch of different people, different time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, it's for Wisdom Seeker. Right?
We're switching it up. She sent me this. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember, I think you sent me this too. So many people have sent me jewelry and stuff I can't keep up. And I've never had so many presents in my life. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. Like I have, and they're all so appreciated. I want to say, as we're wrapping up the final minutes here, we learn more from our failures and our challenges than our successes.
Say that again.
We learn more from our failures and challenges than our successes.
And sorry, you could
go ahead.
And that is a major issue because so many of us have been taught to not fail, and that you actually want to be set up to fail so that you can learn something. Like being able to that is a program that needs to be deprogrammed to be reprogrammed, because that attitude of perfection is just a lot of immense pressure, and that's not the point.
Right.
That's how you learn. That's how you realize that, like, I mean, you think people just automatically, like, that's not how it works. Like, you have to, kind of like the same thing. I'm not really good with internet and all that. That's what I remember. There's, but that I still have to do it. I still have to like keep on, but I keep failing. And then I'm just like, okay, well, I figured that one out. All right, well, then I'll try this. And it's like, I'm a work in progress on that piece of it, and I embrace it. Whereas I would just stay stuck because I didn't want to fail, right? You have to put it all out perfect. And it's like, that's not reality of life. Right. So you're all following along with me, right? Of like looking back, like, oh my gosh, I remember when she didn't even have a website, right? Like, it's all part of the process. It doesn't invalidate me. Maybe it does to some people, and that's your choice. Like, but that doesn't always emphasize where someone lands. It's like, where are they at in the path? Well, I'm still hitting the pitfalls. We're on whatever path, right? Like,
I was lucky to have my wonderful daughter-in-law build my website for me because I would not have known how to do it.
And this time around with like the landing page and some different things, usually I'm asking other people, and I haven't. I want to do it myself. I'm learning. And so, my learning curve, I have a lot of challenge. Like my learning curve is a little bit, ebbs out a little bit, yet I love myself and I accept it, and I know where I'm at and I understand it. And I'm going to compassionately love myself to the other side where I've got this beautiful whatever. And that's a part of the process.
That is a part of the process.
Right? Where are you in your journey of whatever that is?
You are right where you are meant to be.
Exactly.
We are all right where we are meant to be.
And you and you and you. It's like from, what was her name from that show that she used to say goodbye to? Romper Room. I was
Oh,
like, goodbye, Kathy. Goodbye, Lisa. Right? It's like, goodbye. So
it's true. We are right where we're supposed to be. We're all learning, and we all have different talents and skills that vary. And so it's not about shaming someone if they don't have a certain talent or skill. It's about helping lift each other up. It's like any relationship, like a marriage shouldn't be one person, like these damn trad wives, sorry. One person shouldn't be bowing down and serving the other and lifting the other one up like a king or a queen while the other one's sitting there, I'll do whatever you want. That's not, any relationship should be that way. You should lift each other up together. If person A has these 12 skills and person B has these 10 skills, put those skills together and lift each other up, whether it's a marriage, a friendship, a family relationship, it doesn't matter. We're supposed to lift each other up. And not everybody has all the same skills, because you are right where you're supposed to be.
And if there's a topic you'd like us to address, put it in the comments and let us know.
Right.
Something that you want to talk about that's uplifting, that's part of growth and change and transformation, and really focusing on, I think a lot of the subjects that we come really go back to ourselves, which is really what I like to talk about, because that's what I can control, is me. I can't control anybody else.
Right.
I can't do anything with anybody else. And like, just trying to like do all that has been exhausting. And so it's like, you get to do it with yourself and give yourself the time, the energy, all the above. So if there's something that you're curious about, or you want us to talk about, or, please put it in the comments. I think
or email us.
Yeah. I think you can still read them right after. I don't really know. I can't even see them. I don't. Okay. We're a work in progress here.
Jen's learning. We're trying to teach her. She's learning.
Yeah, I'm learning on. But the thing is, that's different. This is that I want to, and I'm learning on my own, and so I'm biting off what I can handle. Whereas before, I would just freak out and I would just scream for who can help me. And now I don't do that at all. Like, I don't even tell anybody. I'm like, okay, girl, go to YouTube University. How do you add our landing page?
Everything is on YouTube.
That's exactly what I've been doing, and so it's all coming together. But the point is, put it in the comments if you still can, if there's a subject, or email us if there's something that you're dying to know and you'd like us to talk about. And if not, I know Peaceful Nick's gonna end it, but I just wanted to say thank you for everybody coming. It was lovely always having you here, watching the replay. If you're not already following any of us, like, please do. Like, it doesn't cost you anything, like, just to be able to support us. And she'll get back to us on, maybe she'll create a video on what she's decided the name when she figures it out.
It's my new best friend right there. And Wisdom Seeker said, yes, Pixan. Was that the girl's name on Romper Room? She said, you're a Romper Room girl.
Yeah.
I remember Romper Room, but I don't remember any of their names.
At the end, she would call out all
I remember that, but I didn't remember her name.
Jennifer, right? Yeah. She brought you into like the room.
She broke the fourth wall.
I grew up with Romper Room and Mr. Rogers. Thank goodness.
Yeah. We could use more. We could use more of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm. They helped us.
Absolutely. Okay, everyone. We will see you next week at the same time. Hold on. Let me check my schedule.
Okay.
Real quick. I can't do it next Wednesday at this time.
Okay, we'll talk offline.
But we'll let you know. Okay. Bye, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
You're right where you're meant to be.
Exactly.